All right. Well, hey, everybody. It is 2 hours UTC, and it is time again for Astronomy Daily Live. So Bobby's having some technical problems, so he just popped out of the panel, but I expect him to come back in here momentarily. So yeah, let's gather around here, friends, and sit around our virtual lounge, our virtual porch, and you know, turn off the TV, turn off the news, and think some other thoughts. They say that a typical average person has like 40,000 thoughts every single day, every waking moment at least, and most of those 40,000 thoughts are like the same thoughts, just over and over and over and over and over again. So if you find yourself in that mode where it's just circling and going around and around and around and around, it's like this is a chance to sort of break away from that for just a little while, and be curious about things. That's a really important aspect to science that well, I don't know if it's not emphasized enough, but a lot of science is just sort of taught in terms of facts, right? This is this and this is that, and make these kinds of measurements, make these kinds of calculations, done, right? But science, at least the way I see it, has like three legs, right? And it takes at least 3 legs for anything to be stable, right? So, and science, yeah, is pretty stable. Is it the best means of inquiring and trying to find out things? I don't know. I think it's a very useful tool for sure. Is it the only tool? Probably not. But it's a good tool, but it's got these 3 legs, right? And one of the legs is curiosity. Got to have that. Otherwise, here comes Bobby. Let's see if he was having problems hearing me, which causes a little bit of concern to see if you can hear me. Can you hear me now, Bobby?
Yeah. For whatever reason, my audio prober for my computer went out on me. That's very common, typical.
Those machines, these machines of ours do exactly what we tell them to do, and that's just unacceptable. So cool. But hey, I'm hearing lots of echo though.
Oh, let me turn down my Bluetooth speaker and let me kill my TV.
All right. Cool.
Okay, is it good?
Very good. Very, very good. And if you hadn't already noticed, in the panel, once again, Bobby. What's going on, Bobby? Everything seems...
Nothing much here.
Everything seems...
I'm also have some concerns on my machine that if I run my emulator for quite some time, it's causing a block on my shutdown. I just don't know what what is causing that other blockage, because main thing was GQRX, but I don't know what's another thing that could be blocking it. Probably could be somewhere in the emulation thing. I have an Android emulator on my Linux machine.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, you know, these machines are, yeah, finicky machines, and you know, we're in the very, very, very
And you
early.
know what's also crazy about the Linux system that I'm on?
What's that?
It's like I interact with the programmers of that operating system, but this is a Samsung Chromebook 3. They never ever have a Samsung Chromebook 3 to test on it. So you just can't get any support at all on it.
Well, see, somebody needs to step up and assume that role, and there you go. There's your new job. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, you know, as I was saying, you know, this is a chance to sort of, you know, have some other thoughts for a little while, and that can be very comforting and healing, and just, you know, generally nice to have other thoughts other than just sort of the same ones over and over and over and over and over again. So you know, that's one of the really, really cool things about science, and specifically astronomy, is that there's so much, and there is, you know, literally uh, uh, at least every day, right? There's something just completely new, right? And so that makes it really, really fun and really, really cool. And you know, just being sort of a spectator uh, in that realm is very, very cool. You know, um, being a participant is really, really cool. So so yeah, yeah. You know, as I was saying, you know, curiosity is one leg. Skepticism is another. You've got to have that, right? It's like, you know, you look at something new and it's like, what is, you know, what is that? And then being open-minded is that third leg. Um, so yeah, you know, you have to juggle these three things at the same time if you want to do uh, science. And a lot of times, you know, those three things interfere with one another. So it's a, you know, it's a balancing act, you know, to make all of that work. And sometimes, you know, you get dragged one way or dragged the other, and yeah, you know, you have to persevere and come back, get that paper written and published, so, you know, everybody can hear about, you know, the incredible work you're doing, and yeah, yeah. So all of that's science, and that's what this live stream is all about. Is just, you know, just having a little bit of fun every single day for an hour-ish or so, sometimes less, sometimes more. It varies a lot. Um, and just, you know, thinking astronomical thoughts and looking at various things, and, you know, trying to understand what sort of the latest, you know, work is, and thinking, and um, uh, different spacecraft and different kinds of instrumentation. Um, so yeah, this live stream is for everyone. It's for everyone, from, you know, the complete newbie that you know, has an interest but doesn't really know what to get into or what to look at first, or any of that. It's for the amateur who is completely into it, but you know, likes to do this kind of thing and just sit back with a favorite consumable here. Cheers. And just shoot the breeze with other like-minded folks around the planet, right? I've got people who come into chat from Australia and Afghanistan and the UK, and also, of course, you know, the United States and Canada. So yeah, it's extremely cool and lots of fun. And I'm just here to share a passion because that's precisely what this is, and it's a passion that I've had my entire life. Can't really remember a time when I wasn't thinking something astronomical, something.
Now, please tell me you got hydrogen hydroxide.
Absolutely. This is a fresh, yeah, completely fresh, fresh brew here of the good old HOH, the acid and base at the same time. And yeah, there's something like, I want to say probably really, really close to like 10 to the 24th molecules in this glass. It's just an enormous number of things in this glass, of this amazing molecule that, yeah, you know, we're finding everywhere, right? We found this on the moon now. They've detected an enormous amount on the north and south poles, and there's been a lot of speculation, you know, whether there actually was this kind of ice on the moon. And there's been sort of like, yeah, there probably is, and you know, we made a few measurements, and it's like, well, maybe there is, but I guess a couple of months ago, and I think we looked at that on this live stream, but a couple of months ago, they pretty much definitively decided that yes, there is definitely frozen this stuff on the moon. So, and you know, it's on Mars. It's sort of everywhere. So it's an amazing molecule and plentiful, right? I mean, that's a lot of molecules in this little cup here. So cheers.
A lot of water here. Cheers.
Excellent. Excelente. Yeah, I you know, there are a lot of in this case, you know, drinking options, and everybody has their favorites, and this by far is always the thing that I go for. It's just great.
Hydroxide really tastes like.
Well, it tastes a lot like dihydrogen oxide, but just a little more mellow. Yeah.
So I guess it's like safe to drink, huh?
Both of them completely safe, totally safe. Yep, no problem at all.
Okay, Tom Basker, he's not going to join the panel, but he's going to be on the chat. Didn't find water on the moon?
Yeah, you know, we have to go back and look at that paper that came out, I want to say a couple of months ago, where they, and we looked at it here, but it was, it actually showed a map, right, showing where all the ice was, and so yeah, that was just a couple of months ago. But I don't remember what spacecraft. L-Cross, it could have been. I'm not exactly sure. So yeah, it's everywhere, and it's great stuff for sure. Hey, so um, today in about an hour and 24 minutes, if I have that right. Yeah, an hour and 24 minutes at 3. I believe it's going for 3:40 UTC. There's a Rocket Lab launch. Um, this is their, I believe this is their second, um, maybe third orbital launch. I believe that this is an orbital thing. They launched from this incredible um, launch facility in New Zealand. So yeah, 3:30 or 3:40 UTC uh, there
Well, what
is
would be the launch provider? I might try to find on YouTube.
Rocket Lab. I think, yeah, I'm probably going to, let's see, I've got my list here. I'm probably going to watch it on either Everyday Astronaut. He usually does a pretty good job with those things. Or the Rocket Lab YouTube channel itself, which is just called Rocket Lab. And this launch is called It's Business Time. So, and yeah, they've changed the time. It's now 3:50 UTC. So they're playing with the launch time a little bit. When I last looked an hour ago or so, it said 3:40. So yeah, they're changing that a little bit, but that's cool.
Now,
That's cool.
I wonder if, like, Eric Johnson will be able to stream it as well. I think he does a good job on those launches as well.
Okay, I've never heard of that person.
No, EJSA. I don't know what's his last name, but EJSA does it as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I assume that there are going to be a few live casters like that. Here's the Rocket Lab link. I put that in the chat. So see if you can see that. It says live in 91 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're I think why don't we
Subbed and Bell.
what's that?
Subbed and Bell. I also got Everyday Astronaut subbed and about to bail him too.
Subbed and belled. Cool. All right. So I sort of wanted to see what Rocket Lab is launching this time. So why don't we start there and try to find out what they're launching, right? So this thing is called It's Business Time, and I'm wondering. Okay, nothing there. Let's
Yeah, I'd like to know what they're really are launching and stuff.
yeah, let's go find out. Let's go find out.
Now there might be other.
Let's see. Rocket Lab USA. That's probably a good. Rocket Lab to launch It's Business Time and Elena 19 missions weeks apart. So the Rocket Lab
Why do
back to
you like to call it It's Business Time for some ever reason?
well, you know, they're trying to be modern and hip at the same time, and so that's the new thing, right?
Okay, what's up, Uncle Bill?
SpaceX.
And say
Hey, there, Uncle Bill.
EJSA and Dallas Badass do some of the best launch casting. Rocket PC Gaming is another favorite.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I should probably check a few of those others out because I usually just go over to the Everyday Astronaut, and he does a pretty good job. He's having a lot of fun, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
I think last time they used to have something called space videos that I watch sometimes, but I think when that SpaceX did that satellite launch, there was no sound, so I moved to the EJSA on Twitch, and I can hear his commentary and the feed at the same time.
Cool, cool. So yeah, I'm scanning around here, seeing if we can find out anything.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think EJSA did a simulcast with Das Baldas on the AHEF
Oh, okay.
or
All right.
AEHF satellite that the military launched.
Cool. So the only thing I'm seeing here is that its Business Times manifest includes Irvine-01, an educational payload from the Irvine CubeSat STEM program, and Nabio, a drag sail technology demonstrator designed and built by the High Performance Space Structure Systems GmbH. Ooh, I don't know what.
CubeSats before. I wonder if those signals are receivable via SDR and like how to get the information from those CubeSats.
Yeah, I think usually they do have some kind of radio, but yeah, I'm not sure if they're limited to you know what is used in space, what is called X band, which I'm not quite sure what the frequencies are. I think there's also a K band. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what they use, but I think it's pretty high frequency
I know
stuff.
there are some like the amateur radios and the ISS uses BHF, UHF, and I know like the NOAA weather satellites uses around 137 megahertz. And
Yeah.
I got burned out of the simplest repetition of Tim Dodd's white gas. It's the part of dumbing down of YouTube audience's IMO. I would miss his photography, long time Benedict.
Oh, okay. All right. I can see that. I can see that, Uncle Bill. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll check these other ones out because I've never heard of any of those three that you mentioned there. Maybe I've heard of Das Valdez, but I'm not. But I haven't heard of these other ones. So yeah, I'll check them out for sure. So yeah, it looks like they're throwing up a few CubeSats. Um, let's see. Spire Global also has two Lemur 2 satellites on board. Okay. Yeah, but they're not really saying what they are. But that's cool. That's cool. Anyway, yeah, so that's going to be happening here pretty soon, in the next hour and a half-ish or so. Do I have it here still? Yeah, so this says live in 84 minutes. So cool. So check that out if you're so inclined. These there's going to come a point. Well, I'm trying to stop sharing. There's going to come a point when rocket launches aren't going to be really exciting anymore, right? I mean, who goes to see an airplane take off? Like, nobody does, except the people that are there. So So yeah, I think eventually that's, you know, if I mean, unless something really really weird happens, I don't see, you know, rocketry and space travel and all that slowing down at all. Um, you know, maybe there's still things that we don't quite understand about, you know, what happens to us uh, in those kinds of environments. I don't know. You know, we've had a continuous presence in space now for, wow, a long time, right? I mean, when I think the first people to go into the space station was around, I don't remember, was it 98? Sooner than that? What was the first ones? I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look really quick. Um,
I don't know, 98. That's like dial-up days.
the International Space Station first crew. October 31st, 2000. Launch of the first crew. It was a Soyuz. So there you go. So yeah, 18 years ago, right? 18. So we've had a continuous presence in space for 18 years. And, well, I haven't heard a lot of details about physiology and what goes on. I've heard a little bit, but yeah, I don't know if they, you know, whether there isn't anything to say about it, or if you know, not hearing a lot about that work is like, you know, are they finding some problems that they, you know, want to be able to deal with first? I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, I'm not sure if we completely understand what it's like to be in that kind of environment for, you know, some kind of extended period of time. Um, you know, inside the Van Allen belts, things are pretty protected, right? We're pretty safe here. I mean, we have a good understanding of the environment outside of the Van Allen belts.
Now, that's Baldass is in the Fellowship. That may be where you remember him from, but so is also Rugged PC Gaming. And welcome, Space TV, and welcome, Daniel Browning.
Hey there, Space TV and Daniel Browning. Nice to see you there in the chat. Yeah, just was talking about space travel a little bit, and yeah, you know, like I was saying, I think you know, if things continue to go the way that they're going now, yeah, it'll be like sort of almost like airline stuff. So yeah, pretty routine, nothing you know, particularly interesting. And you know, I'm always curious about you know, when is that moment going to happen when it becomes really routine, right? I mean, to this day, right, when when the uh, when the SpaceX first stage comes down, now they've done it, what, maybe 20 times now, maybe even more, both on land and at sea, 20 in a row, right? They haven't. I don't think they've messed up ever since they did the first one. I think they've had a continuous run. You know, at what point, which launch or which landing is going to be the last one that I watch, because it's sort of like, okay, well, You know, I've seen that. I've seen that. You know, X number of times. So yeah. So Bobby, what do you think about that? Do you think? I mean, when are rocket launches not going to be so interesting anymore? What year?
Yeah, that's pretty darn interesting and stuff. Hmm. I don't know. I really don't know. I think as long as the economy is really moving around that area, I think it still has a future.
Yeah. Well, but what? How many more years is it going to be until we sort of collectively decide that it's like, oh, okay, it's just another rocket launch, ho hum, you
I
know,
know, but
so
I
what?
just don't know why the criticism when it comes to rocket launches. I think like if you really love space exploration, you like all the sci-fi and stuff. I think rocket launches should be an interesting thing, but it's kind of like a bit sad, just like not people is all around it. It's, especially in the world radio. Not everyone is interested in radio. They're mostly like in Pandora or TuneIn or something like that. But they just will never ever will know if should a disaster happens, what you're gonna have to rely on. You can't rely on satellite, you can't rely on TV.
Nope.
You gotta rely on something that you have no choice.
Very true. Very, very true. Well, I think that it's going to be at least, for me, it's probably going to be at least 10 more years of watching successful rocket launches. I think in
10
10,
years.
yeah, I think in 10 years, I'll be pretty tired of it, you know? Because, I mean, this year there's been this huge explosion of launches. China has done 30 this year so far, I think. The United States is like at 20, 24 or 26.
Yeah,
Russia, uh,
and space TV. I look forward to a time when rocket launches are Monday as cars in the solar system's highways are filled with space junk.
yeah, yeah, and you know, I just think it's kind of interesting to think about those times because you know, if we don't destroy
We can
ourselves,
never
right?
get
That's
to a time where like Star Trek time and stuff. We might be blasting that space junk with proton torpedoes and stuff.
yeah, yeah. There's all kinds of opportunities. Hey there, Astro Live channel. Nice to see you in the chat. Haven't seen
It's
you there
all
in a while.
history for the young ones, which hopefully will be go on to as engineers and astronomers. Even in the future, when there's a spaceport in every city launching hourly, there will still be nerds on the edge watching the with binoculars.
Speaking,
Scientists, yeah, you're reading the chat as well.
I am. I am.
Yeah, it's going fast now. I can't even keep up.
Yeah, good, good, good. Yeah, so you know, Daniel Browning accidentally mentioned the young ones, and I actually posted a thing over on my Discord channel about that. It's just a Twitter feed that I saw, and it reminded me of a pretty good, I guess you can say good, comedy show, British comedy show called The Young Ones, and yeah, it's pretty stupid, right? But that's what makes it really really funny because it's just so, you know, they get into all kinds of trouble and yeah. So if you've
You
never
know, it's also kind
seen,
of like a bit crazy if the young ones would get off of their butts and get a life.
well, that's absolutely true. And you know what, Bobby, from my point of view, I think the younger ones are. I think they're very, very engaged. Now, are they engaged in the right kinds of things? I don't know, but they have access um, to information, right or wrong, uh, instantly, right? Just like that. And yeah, I was listening to some YouTube thing about the SpaceX's internet, satellite internet, and how, yeah, it's going to be gigabit worldwide. So it's like worldwide Wi-Fi. That's all it is, at gigabit. So
Yes.
yeah,
I hope
that's
you've been really been checking on the chat, because Astro Live channel's got a lot of facts about satellite tracking and stuff.
yeah, very, very cool. Yes. Besides the flow of the traffic to the moon and Mars, I can't wait to see humans living on the moon, Mars, and Titan. Okay, cool. Satellite tracking would be fun in the future to see all the traffic in the sky. Even right now, there's a lot of satellite traffic. Yeah, see, and with this new system that SpaceX is going to do, right? And look, I'm going to be a customer, right? Absolutely, right? I mean, if it's a reasonable price, you bet I am raising my hand, because I mean, I can get out here, I can get 10 megabytes. I'm
You know
sorry,
something?
10 10
Speaking of
10.
satellites, I like to try to catch. I like to get like a nice and decent satellite and a nice and decent receiver, and catch some what they call free to air station receiving.
Yeah, I think that'd be very, very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, well, there's that. And yeah, we're talking about basically doubling the number of satellites up there right now. Um, so yeah, that is going to interfere. It's gonna start becoming a problem. It's already sort of a problem now with ground-based astronomy. Um, you know, almost every um, image that you see now has some kind of track through it, right? And there's going to be twice as many of those. So, uh, unfortunately, that is going to happen. So that's going to be a problem, I think, for ground-based astronomy, because you don't want either an illuminated satellite going through your, instrumentation, because you might have that instrumentation, right, so goosed up, right, so high gain, that a bright object like a satellite, whipping through the field of view could very, very, very easily damage that instrumentation. Easy, right? And if these satellites are in shadow, right, are in Earth's shadow and aren't being lit up by the sun, then they're going to, pass in front of these objects that the telescopes are looking at, and actually block the light, for a very short amount of time, but that's going to mess up the measurements, right? So yeah, that is definitely a problem that ground-based astronomy is going to have to solve. And
And would that deep space network will eventually solve all that problems, or no?
No, the deep space network is only effective from 30,000 kilometers and out. So uh, they can communicate with the geosynchronous satellites, but most of the moving satellites are lower than that, right? They go from, I think the lowest satellite is probably somewhere around like, I don't know, 300 kilometers. I'm not exactly sure. Um, but these satellites that SpaceX wants to launch, I believe, are going to be around 1,000 kilometers. So they're going to be right in between sort of the low Earth orbit, um, space station orbit, and you know higher altitude things out to geo. So yeah, they're going to be moving through fields of view, either lit up or in shadow, and both of those are going to cause a problem for ground-based astronomy. And I sort of predict that I mean, like I said, I mean, it's a problem now, but I think it's going to be a bigger problem then. And the fact of the matter is that this satellite thing, unless they have like a major setback, right, like major setback, this satellite thing is going to happen because there's a market. There's a huge, huge, huge market.
I can see your cat may want to go out.
Oh yeah, yeah, I see her back there. She's pretty patient. Yeah, I think she'll be all right. I'm not going to be I can't be a slave 24 hours a day. You got to give me a break. All right, well, cool. Hey, let's do an object of the day. Let's do something from the NGC catalog, the new general catalog, of which there is 7,840 objects. Now, most of these objects are galaxies, globular clusters, open clusters, planetary nebulae, and gaseous nebulae. But some of these NGC objects are misidentified, and they're actually just stars or maybe pairs of stars that, when they were making the catalog, they were observed and said, oh, okay, that's a galaxy. And then, we look later and it's like, no, that's not a galaxy, it's a star. Oh, well. So there's a few of those, and I don't know how many of those there actually are. That piece of information is probably out there.
On the chat, looks like Ann is preparing to cover the rocket launch on the Cosmos Quest channel on Twitch. And Daniel Browning, launches to me are interesting but no longer exciting. He'll launch significant launches like the JWXT.
Yeah, I
think if the JWXT is going to be some pretty darn good, if they keep the confidence good.
That is going to be, I watched the HST launch, and oh man, that was, I was let's see, that was 1990. Yeah, so I was already, is that right? Yeah. Yeah, I was already at the University of Arizona. I was a student there, and but yeah, I remember watching that launch and that mission, and they launched it in the space shuttle, right? So it wasn't on a conventional rocket. It was put into the payload bay of the space shuttle, and then they launched, got it up there, and used that big arm to grab it and put it out there. And man, that was a nail biter. The whole thing, right? The whole thing.
And especially watching it on a standard definition cat-wide tube TV as well, unless you use a projector.
Yeah, no, I definitely was using just a conventional TV to watch it for sure. But yeah, totally. So yeah, JWST is going to be a huge nail biter. I mean, I'm not going to have any nails left after that because
it's like
the launch will go well. And Daniel, that's what this live stream is all about. This is about all of us just having a conversation, right? We're sitting out on the back porch, and conversations, do this. So no problem at all. But yeah, JWST, is sort of an extended nail biter, right? Because there's the launch, which I'm really confident that the launch vehicle and the launch will go off with absolutely no hitch at all, right? But it's still going to be a nail biter, right?
And
I mean, it just is.
TV, I did check out that website about that Backyard Worlds project. It's pretty darn interesting, but I don't know, because I don't have the tools and stuff. They want you to help out and stuff.
Yeah, actually,
Astro Live Channel is on the table for JWST with $1 billion tag.
It's 8 billion and going up. Yeah.
Talk about a bust if it fails.
Well,
and I cannot believe that the Hubble is still alive after a major malfunction and forgot to unplug it and plug it back in.
Well, we tech nerds, right, know that experience well, right? It's like, this machine is having some kind of weird problem, right? And you've done everything, right? You've done everything, all that, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to reboot you, right? So you cycle power, you do a restart, comes back up, working perfect. And so that's what they did, and it's great. So yeah, I think they probably are. Hopefully, they are trying to understand, what exactly was going on there, because you don't ever want that to happen, right? But if it, I mean, it got into some weird mode, and was giving bad numbers, and it shut the thing down, right? Which is exactly what it's supposed to do. So cool.
I want to go back to the young generation thing and stuff like that. Something, there's a show that you can catch every Monday at least 0700 hours UTC. That's going to be late at night for a lot of us here. But he took like an extra level test, which he flunked it. He missed it by about maybe 2 questions. But then there were some of them that he also told them that like some of the young ones took it and they just don't know the information. They just took it and logged it down, and they just don't know. They know everything, but they don't know crap. So It's like I said, you gotta like know everything before you do a heck of a lot of things. And I think that's kind of like the big sad of the young ones. They know everything, but they don't know everything. They don't have anything to prove and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, I'm starting to get to the age, that I can look back over a number of decades, and I'm looking at uh, sort of the kids these days, the 20 somethings, and yeah, I think everything's going to be all right. So yeah, you know, um, there are some weird things, right?
It's kind of like a bit weird that the young generations is saying, "Well, the internet is going to be the future," but but if you but you like I said, they probably don't know about emergency preparation and stuff.
yeah. Well, and I think there will also be those who will be interested in that, and it's just not a huge segment of the population, right? No worries. Anyway, I'm going to get back to the object of the day. Object of the day. I'm going to get back into that groove and check out an NGC object, a new general catalog object. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, I think I need to share my screen. Let's see. Like that and like that. Go to infinity. Woohoo! Yay!
Lost wormhole.
Yeah, I love it. So 7,480, or is it 7,008? Oh no, I think it's seven.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Cosmic just got hit with a neuralizer from Men in Black.
Yeah, I got it. Well, no, I don't want to go there. I want to go to Google. I think it's 7,840. New general catalog. We'll find out here. Yeah, 7,840. Okay. Shoo!
Oh,
A little dyslexia there. Happens from time to time, especially us weird folk. All right, here we go. Bam. NGC 451. All right, let's check this out. So the NGC catalog, we're not going to go to Google, we're going to go to Sinbad. The NGC catalog is organized by right ascension. So the lower numbers have a lower right ascension, 0, 1, 2, 3. And then the higher numbers have a larger right ascension, right? 22, 23. And then, of course, it wraps around again to 0. It doesn't go to 24. So NGC 451 is going to be very, very close to a right ascension of 0 hours. It doesn't tell you anything about declination, but it gives you an indication of where it is in the sky in terms of right ascension, east-west. 451. Galaxy. Okay, well, wow, it's at 1 hour, 16 minutes, about 12.4 seconds, and then a declination of plus 33 degrees, 3 minutes, 50.75 seconds. Okay. I don't know what this IG here stands for. The G is just for galaxy, but Not quite sure. Maybe galaxy in group? I don't know. Oh, that's an object type. Sorry. Here's the morphological type. So it's a spiral class C. So it's pretty open arms, not very compact arms. You can really distinguish them. And yeah, it's a pretty small little galaxy though. Let's see what else we got here. Angular size in arc minutes. So 1 arc minute is 1/60th of 1 degree. So the moon, the full moon, is 30 arc minutes in size. So this galaxy is half a degree this away, right? This long way, and 0.38 arc minutes, not half a degree, half an arc minute, and 0.38 arc minutes along the shorter axis. This is called the major axis, this longer one, and this is called the minor axis, the shorter one here. Both of them go right through the center. So yeah, not very big, right? Not very big. You know, 30 arc seconds at its widest. So yeah, that's a pretty small galaxy. Now, does that mean that it's really, really far away, or is it just intrinsically small? Well, you know, the fact that we can sort of see a spiral structure there means that it can't really be that far, right? Because, I mean, the further away things are, the smaller they appear, and the harder it is to sort of distinguish individual features. But, you know, I'm sort of looking at this galaxy as it is. This is from the Sloan Digital Sky Survey. And, yeah, you know, you can see some structure there. But it is pretty small, right? It's quite small. So, yeah, I would say that it's probably got to be pretty far away. Because this is probably, I mean, I've got to guess that it's sort of a normal size galaxy, 100,000 light years across, more or less. So, yeah, you know, to be that small in the sky, it's got to be pretty far away. So, but we'll see. We'll see. That's just a moderately educated guess. So, it's pretty bright, at least in the infrared. That's what this J, H, and K are. Those are different filters that are infrared filters. So it only lets in a certain bandpass of light that is centered on a particular wavelength. And J, H, and K are those wavelengths. B is also a filter. That's well, I guess it stands for blue. It's a visible wavelength, but pretty blue. I forget exactly where that is. I want to say around maybe 4,600 angstroms, something like that. And then you can see that there's a U and a G and an R and an I and a Z. U and G are also visible. U is almost ultraviolet. I think it's around. I think it's somewhere around like 3,700 angstroms or so. G is at 5,500 angstroms. Oh, I don't remember where R, I, and Z are, but they're towards the infrared. So as you can see, it's actually pretty faint in the visible, but it gets pretty bright in the infrared. And that's sort of typical for spiral galaxies that have a lot of gas and dust. They tend to appear to be a little more red than anything else, or brighter in the red. So that's cool. Let's see, a bunch of other names for it. Usually, you know, just different catalogs trying to find various things. Let's see. So, oh, this is a very neglected little galaxy here again. Only only 37 references.
Looks like they're going to move the launch at 0400 now, according to Space TV.
Oh, Space TV is reporting Rocket Lab launch at 4 hours UTC. Okay. Oh, less than an hour to go. Yeah. No, I'm thinking let's we can actually go over here and look. Yeah, this is saying that they're still starting in 48 minutes. So yeah, that puts it at 3:50. So that's cool. That's cool. It looks like it's still a go. That's nice. All right, let's see. So yeah, much neglected little galaxy, and a lot of times I've noticed, looking at this, that the references, the scientific papers, don't really even mention these objects. So I'm not. Oftentimes, I'm not really sure why a particular paper is a reference. If that's some kind of error on Sinbad's part, or yeah, I just don't know. Lots of measurements of velocities.
TV also mentioned with some of the live streams with the live commentary will start at 03:15 UTC.
Okay, cool. So here's some velocity measurements. Pretty consistent. Looks like around 5,000 kilometers per second. So we and it are moving away from one another at a pretty good clip. There's no distance measurements here. So wow, they haven't even tried to measure a distance. Sad, sad, sad. Well, let's look around. It says that it's in a group of galaxies. So let's look at the Sloan Digital Sky Survey image of NGC 451. So yeah, this galaxy, to be able to see this through a telescope with your own eye, wow, you need a pretty big scope. You're going to need at least a 16-inch, at least, if not like a 20 or a 24. So yeah, this and even then, you're only going to see this little central portion. You're not going to see any of this stuff out here. But wow, there's quite a bit of activity. These are maybe like star-forming regions, but you can definitely tell, sort of, I guess, that you've got some spiral arms here. So that's pretty cool. Let's back out a little bit and see. Ooh, nice. It's right next to a big bright star too. Oh, how convenient. Whoa, look at that. So here's some, both this one, well, that one's kind of hard to tell. I can't tell if that's a, yeah, I wouldn't call that a barred spiral, but this one over here, oh yeah. Wow, that's a beaut. Nice barred spiral galaxy. Do you see this bar right here that goes all the way through? Yeah, very cool. That isn't a nice little group of galaxies. Not quite sure if this one's associated with these other ones. You see how these two sort of look about the same size? You can guess that they're about the same distance from us then. And if you assume that this guy is the same size as these guys, then this has got to be closer. Now, that's not necessarily true. This galaxy could be just intrinsically larger than these, right? It could be 4 times the size. Could be. Kind of hard to tell. Zoom out a little bit more here. Looks like we're in a pretty rich part of the sky too in terms of stars, right? We've got a lot of foreground stars, a lot of bright ones, including that one. Wow, that's really bright. So yeah, pretty difficult, right? When you have an object like this, right, so close in line of sight to an object like that, which is just going to blast you with light. So maybe that's one of the reasons why this particular galaxy has been sort of neglected, is because it's sort of a hard target, right? It's kind of rough to get in there. But let's try anyway to see if the HST has ever whoop, where is it? That's not it. Let's see. This way. Hubble Legacy article. Here it is. Is that it? Search form. There we go. NGC 451. I have my extreme doubts. Oh, wow. Well, now they're looking at something else, right? They're looking at 449, which may be this guy, right? Because the NGC numbers are increasing by right ascension, which is to the east, which is this way. So since this is 451, this guy can certainly be 449 without breaking the NGC rule. So, well, let's just take a look and see. Yeah. Oh, okay. I can't quite tell if that's this guy or not. And hard to tell there. We'll pick 3, or WOC3. That doesn't look like that. So 449 might be something completely different. We can find out. Let's just look for 449 really quick and see if it's in the same vicinity. Oh, I guess that is it. Oh, okay. That is it. Okay. So there's 449 and there's 451, and apparently this is 449. Doesn't look anything. Wow, it doesn't look anything like that. I don't know. Maybe. See this dark stuff here? We got. Oh, it's. Well, yeah, there's dark stuff. Huh. I don't know. That's a toughie. Look at these arms go way out here. It's a pretty good exposure. 1200 seconds in the ultraviolet. Cool. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's sweet. So, of course, this is reversed, right? So everything dark on here is actually light. Everything light on here is dark. So, yeah, that one, I think I'd like to reverse that. Let's put it in a special folder. And we'll pull it up on GIMP here. As the wheels go round. 5. I just want to reverse this. That's really the only reason why I'm doing this. We'll make this machine work a little bit tonight. Sorry, machine. But you're so good at it. Okay, there it is. So I'm going to make this window as big as I can. And we'll zoom in. And RGB mode and invert. There we go. So yeah, some pretty interesting dark stuff around there. But look at these things extending way out there. That's pretty awesome. So that's HST data. Looks actually a little overexposed in the middle. Might be. It's hard to tell. Let's see if it is or not.
Okay, I'm just kind of notification that Everyday Astronaut is now live.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I know he was trying to come on. So yeah, it looks like the center of that is overexposed. So what was that? That's a 532 second exposure, and definitely overexposed in the middle. But
welcome, Todderbert.
Pretty nice. But that's not our object. This is all 449. Oh, is Todderbert in the chat?
Yeah.
Cool. Hey there, Todderbert. So yeah, this is just showing 449. It's not showing 451. So I'm gonna shy away from that a little bit. Let's go back to 451 where we were. So yeah, HST's never looked at 451, but it has looked at 449. Doesn't do us any good though. Let's look at these references, and then we'll get out of here. So let's see, radio continue. Oh, dihydrogen monoxide. Cool. See, it's everywhere. Our Carrying Galaxies optical database. 2MASS is another survey. Extragalactic distance database. Local Seifert, so maybe it's a little Seifert galaxy. That's an active galaxy. Infrared properties of close pairs of galaxies. So maybe they're probably talking about both of those guys then, I'll bet. Let's take a look. Complete sample of approximately 800 galaxies in close pairs, objectively selected from the second Center for Astrophysics Redshift Survey. Okay. I don't know. Let's take a look. If we can actually find a reference to this object. That's the goal. 451. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So there you go. Let's see. These things have many different names. Could be any of these. Let's see if 449. Oh, 449 isn't in here either. Sample of pairs. So probably they have a list elsewhere. They're probably not really inclined to publish that large of a list because it's expensive to publish. Usually at least a couple $100 per page. So it's very, very expensive to publish. If you've got a catalog of about 800 objects, that's a lot of pages. As it is, this is a very long paper. Wow. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. Oh, lots of references, lots of tables. So yeah, they've got a little bit of analysis here. Oh, here's a few. Kind of cool. Let's see. But yeah, no mention of NGC 451. So why is this in the list of references? I don't know. Oh no. What else we got here? Rotation curves. H1 measurements, that's neutral hydrogen measurements for 329 nearby cluster and field spirals. Carrying starburst galaxies.
Oh. I'm not sure it's possible, but you'll be watching the Rocket Lab launch while streaming your show, or what?
No, I think I'm just going to, as I said, I'll pop on to either Rocket Lab's stream or probably Everyday Astronaut or maybe one of the other ones there, and just watch it that way. Let's see. Positions as wiki galaxies. Catalog of Markarian galaxies. Markarian. Yeah, nothing too exciting. It looks like it might have a Markarian name as well. Can we confirm that? Yep, Markarian 976. So yeah, cool. Well, a nice little galaxy, sort of neglected, I would have to say, but pretty nice looking. I wish these kinds of things can be studied more, because I mean, look, this is an entire galaxy, right, with stars and planets and probably living things, and they're probably looking around too and looking at us and saying, oh, it's too close to that bright star there, way too much of a pain to have to bother. We've got so many others to look at. We'll just sort of skip over that one. And so yeah, I don't think that we need to skip over any of these things. So yeah, we should definitely put that on the list to let's study that one a little bit more. It looked kind of interesting, right? Got some action going on there. It's sort of from the list of papers. It sort of looked like it was a active galactic nucleus of some sort. So yeah, that's got to be interesting, right? So, all right, you guys. Well, I think I'm going to get out of here for today. It is going a little bit over time, and yeah, I'm going to be taking a look at the at hopefully the Rocket Lab launch in about half an hour or so. So yeah, get on to one of those YouTube or Twitch streams, whatever you want, and let's watch this thing go. It should be pretty exciting. You know, rocket launches are still pretty cool, and especially, you know, this is sort of a new player, so it's always exciting to see, you know, new companies come on, and do their thing. And the launch location, if it's in the daylight, which I think it is, it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. It's fabulous. So all right, well, take care, everybody. I will see you again in a little less than 23 hours from now. So take care. A little less than one more spin. Peace, cheers, and all of that. And I will see you later. All right, bye.
Later.